So when there's as much time as the media started focusing on that, all of a sudden, I don't know, they stopped highlighting that. They completely stopped. The 1 or 2 days. Then after that, the people even still continually starting. But the problem here is when we ask anyone, we want to arrange the bus or anything to send these people to their villages. As long as the media it is highlighting, the people, the philanthropy, the charity, and everything is coming. When the media stop highlighting this, the people who are supporting are arranging the buses to go also, they felt abhi to itne bada samasya nahi hai. Now it is not a big problem. So whether it is a problem, not problem, is actually as a project, not project, as actually is a telling, as a setting by the media. There the actually the role starts. My very clear. And media, and you have to, there will be somebody will say that you want to condemn the media, you want to support the media. There is nothing condemned, there is nothing supported. Media also play its own politics, and every media has their own politics, and everybody has the right to play their politics. Without the politics, how do we build the nation at the state? So everybody must actually, we have to play the politics. But what politics we are playing? The media, majority media corporate, in the hands of the corporate. So they are playing, they coin everything for the corporate to sustain. And they are not playing the role, or they are not playing the politics of the people, the majority. The people who are actually getting the so much of the pain each and every day. No, that is a very small space. To balance, you may have here or there. And another one more thing is, even the society people, now people started talking, I will bring one more example. That one more example is around like a sewage deaths. The media played a vital role to bring the sewage and septic tank deaths as one of the big issues. I don't need to claim that the Safai Karmachari Andolan and the many volunteers and the many Safai Karmachari community people has brought alone, along with the media, because the media has paved the way to actually reach to the many people to create a kind of, but what kind of a thing we have made? What? We never question the system. We say that the people when they die, how the children are crying. And when the, what it is, there is a breadwinner, there is a big one. How we are using the still the breadwinner, nobody is eating bread, and here roti, dal, and the chawal and the rice. But still we have the word breadwinner. The earning member when they die in the sewer or septic tank, we will start using that as one card. So what you are doing by saying that, you are putting a kind of sympathy on the people, and you get some money or something. But we never question how a prime minister can inaugurate 1,000 crores of the parliament vista when still there is a dry latrines existing in the country. No, we don't question that. So that is what I want to say, that this is also violence. This is the violence. We have to be literacy in the sense we have to open eyes. How do you open eyes? You never question why you want a vista. Already you are sitting in the parliament. Everybody, nobody is standing and talking in the parliament. We don't require such a big, great buildings where your name will be there. That is the reason. Just example, we have lost almost like a 2,400 Safai Karmacharis, their life in the sewer and septic. We have not taken even a single step. But so media also highlight that and highlight this. But when they highlight that in other perspective, when they highlight the sewage and septic tanks, yes, there is sympathetic manner to create. But they are not highlighting that as gussa aneki, like an anger. So this is what I want to make. Of course, there are the certain things like Ari, Wire, News Click. They play the people's politics. We can't say that nobody is doing. But the problem here is, how do you going to break this inbuilt character of the systemic violence? It is an inbuilt character in the power structure. Violence is not all of a sudden somebody is emotionally doing. No. A chief minister says that उनका मार सकते हैं, हम लोग we have to take the revenge. So chief minister is the person who has to actually follow or see that the law and order on the track. But the same chief minister coming and saying we must take the revenge. So where we are? So what I want to say that the violence, the word and the source, that even the thing and the actions, for that the energy or the spirit is coming from the power structure. The power structure who are sitting almost like a decade in this country, they started making the state as the more violence. And they think that without the violence, we cannot control. And there is a controls now. So before we used to say that license Raj, control Raj. Now actually what we are saying, we have lost all the license, everything we have removed for the business people, corporate. Now the controls for the citizens. So this has become like this. So my submission here is, before I say any word about the Swachh Bharat, how it is, the media, how it has taken and all, that we can take in the question answers, very clearly I want to make it. The inbuilt character of the systemic violence within the power structure, how do we actually break that? We have to break that. If you don't break that, violence will continue. Then we can only report how many incidents, statistics, graph this. So to actually put a full stop for that, we must create a pakka clear opinion of the democratic space we have to create in the media, in the universities, in the society, in the state. I stop here, then we will go for the Dr. Anilji.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting on the systematic nature of violence, how violence is inbuilt into the structures and processes of the society and institutions that govern us and of the industry that we create. You also highlighted, of course, in terms of media, how it's a media that either brings the issue to the forefront or also to the relegates to the background. And most importantly, the vocabulary as to how language plays a very important role in as part of systemic violence that exists. I'm just let me check. I'm just checking the questions that are coming in. Of course, this is a question mirroring your opinion. The question is, the media talks about doctors, but rarely Paurakamikas. How did we end up in a place like this?
Say it again, sir. Say it again.
Okay, so the question is, of course, this is mirroring your own what you've said, but highlighting a different contradiction that the media talks about doctors, but rarely about Paurakarmikas. How did we end up in a place like this? And of course, there's one more question which I also will ask you, which is to do with your work. How do you think we as media students can assist in Safai Karmachari Andolan?
Both are most important. First, I will talk about how you can help us, because I start with that. And actually, the students of the media are the good tool. They can make the good documents, and they can see now the trend has gone. The before trend is just you can show one photograph of the dry latrine where the women cleaning. By seeing that itself is the judges is to get the so panic like. But now people are saying that this is all online. So you have to go and direct telecast from the dry latrine and say that even now she is cleaning live. So you have to put the media like the students who has a good equipment, technology, knowledge. You have to come with an online submission of the report of the existing, because the states already said that there is no scavenging at all. So we have to create a such things one. And
You lost your voice, Mr.
Okay.
Now you're back. Yeah. Now you're back.
We have a kind of a habit of highlighting that the women carrying the human excreta sometimes, and the rain comes and their human excreta falls on the head down to the nose and like this. So this trend is when the people see also they appreciate maybe. But what is the use? So you must say that how the people will start reacting for that. What are the things? So the media can also play such role. Instead of making people more to cry, you have to make the people to agitate it. They must see that I cannot follow this in my city. Like you have the corporate media. So they want exactly their agenda. But persons like you and the universities, you have no any personal benefit out of this. So you can build that direct the people's perspective. That is the most. Then people's perception, how it can be looked actually. So how do you build that? And opinions. And you can also propaganda on that. So these really we cannot do. As an movement, we have our own limitations on this. This is number one. Number two, regarding the sanitation workers during the COVID and the doctors. Of course, we have the class. That is the reason in the beginning I said that we have in the systemic violence, there is a class, caste, and the patriarchy. And of course, we must also say that there is a communal agenda also in the country now. So due to that, the minorities and their rights were completely, systematically, we are now ignoring their rights. And we think that you have no right to claim here. You are from some other country, like we have just gone out of our this thing actually. We started our own fellow who are there in front of us. And recently I have seen somebody is asking the, what it is called, document. So somebody is asking the document, and somebody, my friend has written a book, and there she mentioned very clearly, I born here in this land or in the mitti. ये मिट्टी पे मेरा पैदाइश है, and same mitti and the mitti matlab is the same land I live and the same land I died. So finally she's saying that ये मिट्टी दस्तावेज हमारा, ये soil is the actually evidence for me. In that circumstances, it's so strong. But we ask the people, you have to show the some document like Aadhaar. Without Aadhaar, no nothing, anything. So without Aadhaar, everybody say Niradhar. So this we have to change very systematically. These three: class, caste, patriarchy, and minorities ka on the minorities. How the systematic violence is. In this, doctors and the Safai Karmachari. Doctors you highlight always. But whereas when it comes to the Safai Karmacharis, you will shower only flowers. You don't pay the salaries on time. You don't even feel shame for that. You ask everybody to come every day during lockdown also, and you ask everybody to wash the hands every half an hour. There is no water, no restaurants open, no houses are open, every house is closed, and Safai Karmacharis are coming and the hot sun, they are cleaning, and you are asking them to wash the hands every half an hour. No mask, no safety gear. Sometimes you make you. So this, why it happens like this? We have in our mind, there is a hierarchy. Hierarchy is justifies with the caste system. So there you think that Safai Karmacharis, even if they don't have, if they are not using any mask, no problem. Even if they die, so the Constitution of India although says that we are all equal, but when it comes to the Safai Karmacharis, no salaries, no safety gear, no working hours, and all this they have faced. And still they are facing. It is not that just once upon a time it has happened. It is happening even today. So these are the things we have to highlight. And here you video also highlight, not the photos. When they are working, their problems, no. When somebody in at least 4 or 5 places, I think, in across the country, they just showered the sunflowers. That they highlighted. Safai Karmacharis, their work was praised by, what is the praise? Without paying the salary and showering the flower is the praise. So that is the most important. Media and the academicians, you have to take that as an important and include. The very simplest thing is, in AIMS, the head of the sanitation died with the COVID. Means what? No safety gear, no PPE. And in Chennai and in other states, including Delhi, many Safai Karmacharis are died. And we know now very recently that the COVID virus is also going through the human excreta. It can transmit through human excreta. So the sanitation workers and their life is in great danger and the risk. And it is in a time for the media and the state to take this as an important point to actually protect the life of the Safai Karmachars.
I'll take you to two other questions. One is, what do you mean when you say that systemic violence is a part of the structure? Can you elaborate on that? And the second question is, what can we as teachers at universities do to keep students away from or shun systemic violence?
See, one is the systemic violence. Say that it is a part of the, actually, the power requires a kind of a hierarchy. Otherwise, they can't enjoy the power. If you say that all are equal, so somebody cannot be treated as like here, they spend so much crores of the rupees to become the parliamentarian or the MLA. So why? So they need that kind of a thing. Systemic violence may I made very clear one point on that is, caste discrimination in the country is not a big, you don't think that is a big problem. And untouchability, even today in modern India, we do everyday practice untouchability, but we talk against the reservations. We don't talk about the untouchability. We talk against the reservations. These people coming to the main street, these people are coming to the banks, these people are coming to the universities, and they are quota people, and they don't get the good marks. Even they are coming and sitting along with us. It means what? In our minds, it is a very clear that the scheduled caste people are not as equal as we. They should not enter. Entering through the, maybe through the reservation. So we have to condemn this. So we are so strong in actually to the caste. Caste is there in the minds of the all Indians. We must accept this openly. And we do respect untouchability. We never feel ashamed for that. Every Indian, whoever they are, everybody must. And if there are somebody, they come and tell us, what? Where is the caste now? They are the much more danger. If you, they know very well how the scheduled caste people or others who are sitting in the classroom, how we are making the comments and in the big schools like I want to make that big school like a Doon school also, there is a typical word for the Dalits. So please try to understand. It is not just in one place. IAS Training College, Matsuri, we have the same words. I know very evidences. We must come very openly and say that we are doing something systematic injustice. And we are justifying our inequality practices. And we have no repentance on that. And we just destroy the other human being and their dignity. And we don't feel ashamed for that. We must come caste and the patriarchy. And in all the families, still even now, we have the same kind of a practice. There is no equal treatment for the women, men and women, boys and girls. And we send the girls where, boys where we know. And in your house, if you are sending both at the same, and you can't just come and say that, now everybody is my sister, my brother, both are going into the same school. Your house is not the model for the great country. The country is so big. It is not a small. Don't unnecessarily underestimate the problem by just giving the example of your own family. But I want to challenge, in most of the families, patriarchy even very, very, very strong. Many institutions and universities, Patriarchy is very, very strong. And even to come to the numbers, mere numbers. I don't want to say that the numbers are the greatest thing to achieve. Mere number. There is no equal number for the men and women, either in university or in colleges or in parliament or in assembly or anywhere else. The numbers are still very, very low, but still we think that reservations for them, we think that 33%. Why? So much why? They must get the 50%. If you believe the equality, you must support the women must get the 50%. Exactly. Not even a less than 1%, because they are equal in the percentage. Some states they are more, 51%. So equal representation in the way of the power. When it is not happening, we must say that there is a systemic violence. It is a violence. We have purposely, we just kept away. We don't take that. We have all agendas in the parliament to take it forward. But when it comes to the women's reservation, we don't talk. And when it comes to the atrocities, no, that is okay on the Dalit. Then rape on the Dalit women, we don't take. And the women, somebody has necked and taken removed, the police has removed, has taken out all the clothes of the women. Nothing happened. And the government may give the award for such people. The state is becoming a more violent than any before. So these are the things, this violence, everybody as Indian citizens who believe in democracy, we must condemn. The state cannot be so violent. The state is not somebody's. And states are running within their mindset of the caste and the patriarchy. And we must condemn very clearly. We must tell each and every chief minister and the prime minister very clearly where they are going wrong. That the role the media has to.
I think we are reached the time that is available to us. So I would request you to permit us to wind this session, the short session with you.